hot but is sizzling hot, and that's Kaynes. Went public at sub 1,000. Now it's like the real darling. It's been almost like a 4x from its listing price. Jairam Sampath, whole-time director and CFO of Kaynes Technology, joins us now. You went public closer to 700, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah, the issue price, good morning to you all. Issue price was 587. And I think on day one, we got a good...
7 has become 2,800. You've been a multi-bagger in less than 1.5 years. Must be a great feeling, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of kindness by investors and the public, and I think more importantly, our customers, which is the basis of all these results.
Thank you to media also, sir, for a change. We've also...
no, of course. Media is an integral part of public, and probably you are the first step towards any information that goes to people. So I guess media deserves its fair share.
Thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure to see what good work is happening there. My question to you is that you've reaffirmed your guidance of 1,800 crore. Is that what's giving you confidence that you will be able to do 1,800 crore?
So our business, like I have said earlier, it's a little bit of a longish term. It's not a quarterly business. We, if you see the December 31st, we had an order book of about in excess of 3,800 crores. So some of those orders are meant for this quarter, some are for the next year, and then there are some orders which are FY25 and FY26 as well. So we have full coverage of orders for this quarter. So it's a matter of execution, receipt of components, making sure that all the manufacturing is done. So we are sure that should happen for this quarter.
The historical challenges which everyone had, lack of components, semiconductor availability, supply chain issues, all that is sorted.
Yeah. Okay, let me put it this way. The environment has improved a little bit, but I think we have also improved our response to the environment. We are a little sharper now in terms of identifying those which are likely to be bottlenecks, and then we make sure that we take some extra precaution, while at the same time making sure that we don't excess stock, because we are also having the responsibility for keeping the working capital within some limits. So yeah, environment has improved a little bit, but our response has improved very well.
Help us explain this entire Aptus technology collaboration, what it means for you.
Yeah, so we have got 3 collaborations in the Semicon area. And one of the things that whenever I have talked to people, I've been always saying that a company wants to be an integrated EMS player. So when you say integrated EMS player, earlier the definition was that if you made plastics and metals and you did assembly, then you become a comprehensive EMS player, contract manufacturer. But today what has happened is in the kind of technology development that's happening, there's a lot of micro miniaturization happening. At some point in time in future, a lot of assembly work will reduce, for a given product, for the simple reason that some of those components will morph into a small silicon wafer. And then, of course, value has to be added by some company which converts that wafer into IC, which is essentially an OSAT company. So our destination in our OSAT business is to do high-end OSAT, which includes things like compound packaging, which includes things like advanced packaging, compound semiconductor, and of course modules, which we in our imagination looks like it will become more and more prevalent going into future. So while we have to start with a partner like Globetronics, which is in Malaysia, for the basic semiconductor assembly, because we need to learn the ropes first, and then the second stage wherein we wanted to learn the advanced packaging. And as you know, India has lost a lot of time in semiconductor, both, especially low side business. So we need to leapfrog into the higher end semiconductors so that we are future proof. We are able to take care of all the future requirements of the customer. So in that context, people like Aptos from Taiwan and AOI of Japan, they become very important actually, because they have already capabilities in advanced packaging. And so they bring also with them the respective ecosystems of their nation. So essentially, the way to look at it is we are being helped by Malaysia, we are being helped by Taiwan and Japan, which is the best kind of combination.
I have an Axis Capital report with me, and the projections are that this year you're on course to do between 2,500 to about 3,000 crores of turnover.
FY25.
FY25.
Yes.
So is that a fair estimate that you would be somewhere in that range?
It will be between that, though we may not be able to give you guidance right now, but that's a fair estimate, going by the order book, etc. that's a conclusion we can make. Yeah.
What visibility you can share with us for FY26, because the order book what you have will not be executed in FY25. It will be in FY26.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So our order to book, book to order is typically 1.5. So typically what we are saying is on an average we have order book for about 1.5 years. So FY26, I can confirm to you that at least the growth rates will be the same or if not higher. So anywhere between 2, 5 and 3 is the kind of target for the coming year based on whatever order books we are having. So I guess between 40 and 50% growth is likely for the FY26. FY26 might be one more additional benefit will be there. The second half, our semiconductor revenues will also kick in, and some little bit of PC board revenues will also kick in, because by that time we would have completed at least bulk of our installation of our production facility. So FY26 may, yeah, certainly you can expect whatever FY25 numbers are there, at least 50% kind of growth on that,
15% growth on FY 50. Yeah, I thought 15. Okay, thank you. Okay, can I say that this kind of growth as the base becomes higher could be there for next 5 years at least? I'm not talking about an absolute guidance, but directionally, can you grow at 40-50% for 3 to 5 years?
Yes. So in terms of capability to grow, see, one of the things people, the investors and analysts, everybody asks me is that will the company be able to sustain its growth by its own merit, by generating reserves and cash within the company? So the answer to that is yes. As of FY25 end, we have worked this year. There will be some small improvements in our net working capital. Next year, some more. And by all analysis, it is telling us that our EBITDA numbers will also probably improve in terms of percentage. So with this kind of a situation, we will have a good operating cash flows. So we will invest more and more into FY26 and for FY26 capacity. Similarly, FY26 will generate some more cash, and then that part of it will get invested for FY27. So the hint here is that demand is not the problem. Problem will be capacity creation. And so that's what we are now working on. We are making sure that we have adequate representation for the company across different states, and we are acquiring land and starting off, at least in some small way, making sure development is done of the land, and we start planning for additional capacities, because FY25 is just around the corner, and post that, FY26 will be staring at us. We require at least 6 to 9 months to develop any capacity for usage. So yes, so this growth will continue for 5 to 10 years for sure. And we also, as I always said, what we do today, what we perform today is a result of something that we did in the past, maybe 1, 2, 3 years ago. So now we have to work for a life beyond this 5 years time. So we have to set in motion processes and diversifications into different types of categories, so that we can sustain this growth in a, let's say, in a nice way. The nice way is to maintain all your profitability and all your other objectives. At the same time, making sure that the company's size grows and its sphere of influence grows.
My last question to you is that, okay, growth of 40 to 50%, that's a very large growth. And the kind of numbers what you're telling us, sir, that means we are looking at, about 400 to 450 crore of profit by FY26.
Not giving a guidance, but it's doable. Yeah.
It's doable. And you're confident that you will be able to expand your capacity. You've got all necessary clearances. You will have no problems in terms of technology transfer. You're not worried about that.
Yeah. I don't think that's a worry. So, like I've said earlier too, today the job of companies such as us and other peer groups who are also growing at a high speed becomes not only achievement of production targets for the year, but also look at coming years and then make sure that your capacity formulation is there. It's not as if it's very easy to get business or something, but that is something that we have figured it out, and we have processes in place. It's the project execution that are the skills that companies like us have to learn in order to grow to larger numbers.
What could go wrong? I mean, could it be pure global risk factors which are unknown right now, or there are supply chain issues which you are assuming that they would be sorted out, but if they don't sort it out, you will be forced to go back? Could competition come back? Could there be a new technology which could threaten your existing order book? I'm just trying to understand that every business has a risk. What is the risk for you?
Yeah, and I'm glad you asked this question, because one of the things that keeps us awake is the fact that, okay, one thing is that the view looks very positive, and sometimes, you can even say it's too good to be true, right? So obviously there is somewhere lurks a few challenges. One of the challenges which we have tried to address through our OSAT plan, as well as the high density interconnection board, is technological changes which forces these micro miniaturization of boards, so that the salience of assembly comes down. So that we are kind of addressing by making sure that our technologically we are ready to add value, even if such a situation comes wherein the micro miniature of board happens, and then the number of components to be soldered for a particular application comes down. So the other risk, which in today's world has become well and present, is the risk of global supply chain disruptions. So let's put it this way: these disruptions are minor, in the sense they are 1 month, 2 month kind of disruptions. So in our kind of business, if you plan it well, we can make sure that we don't get too much affected. Yeah, some 1 month, 2 month, we could have some little difficulties. So I don't expect these global disruptions to be of that nature. The last point, which is really always a challenge, is to get the required talent, because now it's not only another 2-3 years time, will not just be one product or one manufacturing system company, right? There'll be OSAT, there'll be PC boards, and who knows, some more. And what ends up happening is that we have to make sure that all the talent, proper talent for execution of these projects, and then making sure that operations are done, that has to be put together and retained and so on. We're making a lot of efforts. So that's also the reason why we are also launching newer, let's say, subsidiaries, etc., so that we give enough leadership bandwidth to people. See, one way of growing talent is to grow leaders. And that is what we are focusing on. We are onboarding people who then will obviously grow their teams, etc. So talent growth is one issue. Otherwise, the other things are all challenges which can be addressed. These are challenges which we need to work right now, so that after 3-4 years' time, we are able to kind of get a handle on these problems.
Okay, building on the capabilities as well as getting the second round of leadership in order, that's one of the priorities. Thanks so much for making time and speaking with us today. That's the management of Kaynes Technology, expecting that 50% growth to kind of continue. Just quickly.